Hi guys, my name is Eliza and this is Eliza's Bookshelf. Today I'm going to go over my mid-year freakout. And I know it's August and I was supposed to get this out in like early July, but whatever, just a tad bit late. As long as it's in time to be ahead of like the end of the year stats, I guess, I'm alright. So this mid-year freakout tag, I'll figure out who created it and I'll link it down below, but basically Sam tagged me a long time ago, like a couple months ago. And it's basically 14 questions about like how your year reading has been, which one's your favorite, which one's like a disappointment, things like that. So I'll go over the questions and what I would answer. And my library at home, this downstairs library, my upstairs library, is still a work in progress. So I don't have all the books here, but I'll like put the picture here. If I have the books here, I'll show you guys. But yeah, I have 1 or 2 books here that I can show you guys. But anyways, number 1. The best book you've read so far in 2023. A few books comes to mind and it's hard choosing because I don't know, I just love them all in their own ways, but I'm definitely gonna go with Fourth Wing. If you guys are tired about hearing this book all over Bookstagram, BookTube, whatever, I'll make it short. I love Fourth Wing. It like, you know, I get people say things like it's not the best writing, whatever, but honestly when I read it, I was not really distracted about whatever bad writing is there. I was just so enthralled about the storytelling itself and like the adventures and the fighting and the romance. I loved it so much. And I mean, a lot of people are saying like it's helping them with their chronic illness and stuff and their EDS. So I just love that for people. And I shared this book with my friend at work and it basically said that it reignited her passion for writing. I don't know if she said it in that same, you know, phrase, but basically it got her into her writing again and she's writing her 2nd book. So I love that so much for her. Yeah, I mean, if it can help anyone in any way in their life, like I love it. Some people are trying to poo-poo on me for loving this, but whatever. Let's see. Number 2, the best sequel you've read so far in 2023. I think this is pretty easy. I'll get it over here. Jade Legacy. I don't know which book gave me a bigger reading slump, this or Fourth Wing. Like after both of these books, I was just so depressed and I was just like, what book am I gonna read next? Nothing's gonna top this. Actually, I'm gonna say this. I think this one gave me a bigger book hangover because I was just like so sad that I finished all of these character stories and that I'll never read about them again. But there's like novellas coming out called Jade Shards and I ordered it and I thought it came in, but actually it did not. Turns out Amazon canceled the order and I don't know what to do now because it's not even up, but I just need more of these characters. You have Hilo, you have these siblings, right? And like a cousin, but basically they count themselves as all like brothers, sisters, right? So 4 siblings and they're basically taking over their clan, the No Peak clan in this island of Janloon. You have like, you know, powers, abilities when you wear this jade and manifest it and stuff like that. It's just so much. But this Jade Legacy book just like wrapped it all up and it was just a fantastic ending. It's very heartbreaking, but I like the way it ended, really. I just want to read the story again, actually. If there's one book series that I just want to experience for the first time ever again, it's this. Okay, so number 3 is new release you haven't read yet but want to. Oh, I don't know, there's so many. So this book actually recently released. I forgot when, I'm gonna say in like the past 1 or 2 months. It is The Stars Are Dying by Chloe C. Penaranda. She is the author of An Heir Comes to Rise. That series, I know it's like a bunch of books long. I don't even know if it's fully out yet. I just haven't started it yet, but I heard really good things about that book. Like if you love Throne of Glass and things like that, then you'd like it. I just haven't read it yet, and this new series came out. It's a book in the Nightfall series. But yeah, I recently bought this hardcover. The naked hardback, supposedly, yes, very beautiful. And there's something at the back too. When fall's night, the world will drown in starlight. Interesting. There's supposedly artwork in here as well if you buy the hardcover. Yes, look at that. So nice. And I'll tell you what this book is about in a bit, once I figure that out. Yeah, so pretty. Anyway, so let's see what this book is about. In a world abandoned by the celestial guardians and left to suffer a tyrant king's reign, all Estrella knows is safety and seclusion. With fragmented memories of only 5 years of her life, she's determined to discover more about her past, even if that means fleeing the cruel arms that hold her safe from the wicked vampires rumored to roam the land. Vampires, oh shoot! But when Astria stumbles upon mysterious Night, she soon realizes determination alone isn't enough to guard her heart. He lingers like the darkness that expands between the stars, and soon she discovers her captor's wicked means of control weren't based on a lie to keep her under locks after all. In her desperation, Astrea accepts Night's help before she can decide if she might have sold her allegiance to one of the bloodthirsty beings of the people her world fears. So it's like vampire something. Kind of reminds me of From Blood and Ash, but we'll see. I heard it's really good. The reviews that have come out recently, really, really solid, I think. Oh my gosh. The book itself is so pretty. Look at the headings. There's like little pictures of notes and stuff in here too. Ooh, I really want to read this soon. Yes, confirmed. This is a book released this year that I do want to read ASAP. I'm only on question 4. Okay, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I am gonna say hands down Hurricane Wars. Basically, this is a fantasy book that is coming out inspired by the Philippines. The fates of 2 bitter enemies with opposing magical abilities are swept together in the Hurricane Wars, the spellbinding debut in a fantasy romance trilogy set in a South Asia-inspired world ravaged by storms. It's perfect for fans of Sarah J Maas and R.F. Kuang. My gosh, perfect. The heart is a battlefield. All Taliesin has ever known is the Hurricane Wars. Growing up an orphan in a nation under siege by the ruthless Night Emperor, Taliesin has found her family among soldiers who fight for freedom, but she is hiding a deadly secret, light magic that courses through her veins, a blazing power believed to have been wiped out years ago that can cut through the Night Empire's shadows. Prince Alaric, the Emperor's only son and heir, has been forged into a weapon by his father. Tasked with obliterating any threats to the Night Empire's rule with the strength of his armies and mighty shadow magic, Alaric has never been bested. That is, until he sees Taliesin burning brightly on the battlefield with magic that killed his grandfather, turned his father into a monster, and ignited the Hurricane Wars. In a clash of light and dark, their powers merge and create a force the likes of which have never been seen. Taliesin and Alaric both know this war can only end with them, but a great threat is coming, and a strange new magic they can create together could be the only way they can overcome it. Thrust into an uneasy alliance, they will comfort the secrets at the heart of the war and find in each other a searing passion, one that could save the world or destroy it. An exquisite fantasy brimming with unforgettable characters, sizzling enemies to lovers' romance, and richly drawn worlds, Hurricane Wars marks the breathtaking debut of an extraordinary new writer. I am so excited. Just reading the description again, I'm so psyched. My friend that I met through like Bookstagram and like online and stuff like that, she lives in the Philippines and she got an arc from the author herself because they live so close to each other. It's just so crazy, but she recently finished it and she loved it. And we both love Fourth Wing. We're both obsessed, right? And so I trust her judgment. She loves Divine Rivals too. I loved it, and I just feel like I'm going to love this as well. I do have the E arc, and I have like the pre-order already in Waterstones. I have the pre-order from Satisfaction box. I think Fairy Loot is gonna do an edition already, so I am set. I'm ready to go. I just need to read my arc and be like, you know, ready for it. Let's see. Question number 5, biggest disappointment. Oh my gosh, and I knew right away what this was. Sad to say, it is Christina Lauren's The True Love Experiment. And I didn't like it for like several reasons, but overall, it just made me realize that Christina Lauren's books may not be for me anymore. They're just like, it's just like sort of boring, honestly. And that happened since, I don't know, Twice in a Blue Moon, The Honey Don't List. Those were not really that entertaining to me, or like, you know, giddy fuzzy feeling that I like to get in rom-coms. But True Love Experiment has follows Fizzy. Yeah, Fizzy, I forgot her last name, maybe Chen, Fizzy Chen, I don't know. She is a romance book writer, and I love that. I love it when there's like books in books type of thing, authors in books, yeah, stuff like that, right? And so she is a romance writer, a romance author, and she is trying to find like her own love story as well. So she gets roped into like this dating show that is produced by this other guy, you know, that's the main love interest. But the thing about the book is that I really couldn't concentrate on their love story when she is on this dating show, dating all these other guys, right? I'm like, I don't even care about the storyline. Can we just get to the end? That's how I felt majority of the time, I feel like. So that was the biggest disappointment, I think. It was, I don't know, bad. Okay, number 6, biggest surprise. And I think I had a couple in mind. I have so many. That was a good surprise. What do I want to talk about? I'll say The Last Party. The Last Party by Claire McIntosh. And it was a surprise because I wasn't expecting much. You know, I'll show you the cover. Well, I'll put the cover here. And it's like so generic, similar to a lot of mystery thriller books that I see. It's like this random dark house. The letters are like just block letters, nothing special. And so when I read the synopsis on Book of the Month, it's just like my, you know, typical mystery thriller. I'm like, all right, sign me up, because I really gear towards romance and mystery thriller, horror, fantasy on the app. And so I picked it on a whim, and I was not expecting much, and I read it and I absolutely loved it and adored it. I love the two main characters. It is called like the DC Morgan series, I think. And so there's more coming out. And I actually think the second book, what's it called? Game of Lies or something, is already out. I recently checked, and it actually released in July. So I really need to get that ASAP. I wish Book of the Month did like their own version on it, because I like it when things are matching. But anyways, so basically this DC Morgan series, this book itself, there's like this big old lake, right? There's a lot of rich people living around this lake, and because it sits on the border of England and Wales, when this big murder happens, there's someone from the Wales part and someone from the England part has to come together to solve this mystery together. So you have Morgan, and then you have this guy over here. I forgot his name, but like them working together, I loved it so much, and I am looking forward to seeing if there's more of that in the second book. I think she alluded to like, yes, you will see more of this character, even though it's just like the DC Morgan series, but I'm so excited. Yeah, I mean, I love it when I read mysteries, but there's like a little sprinkle of romance in it. So yes, that was a big surprise. Number 7, favorite new author, debut or new to you. And so I would say I picked You with a View by Jessica Joyce. This is her debut book, and I did not realize that until I finished reading the book, and I loved it so much that I was like, damn it, I need to read all of her books. And it turns out that was her only book. She does have like, she does have a preview to her next book in the end of that book, but I didn't read it yet. Anyway, so You with a View, it's about the female main character. I don't know what her name is. And I like returned the book to, you know, the person who lent it out to me. But anyways, I need to get my own copy. The female main character, her grandmother recently passed away, and her grandmother was like her favorite person, her best friend, the person she went to talk about everything, right? She passed away. They're like going through her stuff, and turns out that she saw a photo of her grandmother with some random person. This was when her grandmother was in her 20s or something like that, right? And she's like, who is this guy? Turns out she had like this love life before her, the female main character's grandfather came into the picture. So she's like, what is this lost love? And she posts this into TikTok or whatever, some social media, saying like, hey, help me find this person. And she does figure out who this guy is in her grandmother's in her grandmother's photo. Turns out it's the grandfather of this guy that she used to know in school. I'm not gonna say which school, maybe like high school or something like that, and they were rivals. So a really rocky start there, but she meets up with this guy and his grandfather just to figure out her grandmother's story back then, because no one ever told her about it. And so this is like her journey going on to like this trip that they were supposed to go on a long time ago but never did, and basically like processing her grief with her grandmother. And it's so sweet. I love her relationship with the guy as well, the rival guy, because I think it blossomed very like organically and not, you know, not forced or anything. Oh my gosh, it was so cute. I remember loving it and adoring them so much. But yes, that is my favorite debut author this year. There's a lot of others too that were new to me, but I don't think that they were debut authors, like Elisa Sussman, Sophie Sullivan. Those were new to me authors, but I figured I'd mention You with a View because she's actually the debut author. Okay, number 8, newest fictional crush. I have a couple, Xaden from Fourth Wing and Rain from Serpent and the Wings of Night. Yes, I love them so much. These are some of the books that I actually want to like read again and experience their love. Oh my gosh, it's just so awesome. Who else? I'm just gonna stop right there because there could be so many. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's a lot. Anyways, favorite character. I would say Hilo from the Greenbone Saga. This is very controversial because he actually sucks a lot of the time, but I don't know, I just like fell in love with like how passionate and loving and fierce he is. He protects, you know, his wife, his family, not always in the best way. Like he's very quick to temper, easy to make decisions without like stopping to think about it, and so that sucks. And a lot of the times his decisions really make me hate him, like in book 3, but in general I just loved his story so much. So I'm gonna say Hilo, even though I know that's a hot take. Number 10, book that made you cry. And there's a couple that comes to mind. Definitely Red, White, and Royal Blue. Like at the last fourth of the book, I was just bawling my eyes out because these two just want to find a way to love each other and not mess up the lives of, you know, his mom and his family. I don't know. It's just like so heartbreaking, but I love the end. And I can't wait to watch the movie when it comes out later this week. The other one that made me cry was one that I finished this morning, actually. It is Paper Names by Susie Luo. I always feel like I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but yes, it is Paper Names, and I got this in the book of the month, and I was supposed to read it with my sister in July, I think, or June. We were supposed to read it a couple months ago, and we're like, okay, if you're not feeling it, let's just read something else. But eventually I was like I need a debut book to figure out, you know, to complete my book of the month challenges. And so I was like, let me just pick it up, and then boom, I read it in one day. And thanks to like Merb's 48-hour readathon, I just flew by it. Yeah, so it's just so heartbreaking. It is about these this family of three that basically immigrated from China to New York in the US. And basically the parents made that decision to bring a better life to the daughter Tammy. And there's a lot of rockiness in their relationship as Tammy grows up. And the father works as a doorman at this hotel. And basically when his world collides because of something that happened in front of the hotel, when his world collides with this lawyer guy, it basically like shapes their families moving forward. It was not what I think it was gonna be, but I really liked it, and it's kind of heartbreaking at the end too. What made me so sad is because I could relate to a lot of things, not in my father's type of relationship, but my relationship with my mom. And so I can see a lot of my mother in this guy, just seeing the parallels between like her difficulties moving here, sacrificing what her life could have been there with her family, and coming over to the States, just rebuilding her life, not knowing any English, and basically giving up like her education over there and starting anew here, and just starting from the ground up. You know, you have like, she was a driving instructor for a majority of her life here. She had a lot of other jobs too, but basically being a driving instructor, it's always like kind of chewed away at her, like, you know, self-esteem, I guess, because she needs to be a scientist over there. I don't know. It's a lot to unpack right now, but it just hit home a lot. Like specifically, a lot of the things that the father says in there, I like flashback to my childhood. My mom said the same things about me, and I don't know, it's just so crazy. I really want my sister to read it ASAP so I can discuss it with her and just unpack our trauma. But yeah, that made me cry. And it opened up good discussions with my husband too, because we kind of both grew up in a different type of family. But yeah, I'm glad I'm able to talk to my husband about that and have him understand. So that was good. Try not to cry right now. Okay, so number 11, book that made you happy. I would say, I was looking at my list earlier and I was like, I don't know, like what makes me happy, giddy and stuff like that, right? And recently I read Love Theoretically, which made me so happy. I love these type of romance books that just makes me be so happy for the characters. So you have a theoretical physicist, Elsie Hanaway, like I totally forgot their names already. And then you have this other guy who is a experimental physicist. Oh my gosh, but yeah, what happens? I don't know. It's a lot of like experimental and theoretical physicists kind of butting heads, and I don't remember the details. All I remember is just being so happy when I read this book because those two are so cute together. Oh my gosh, I remember now. Okay, the main character also works as a side gig as like a fake date type of person, and so she's fake dating this other guy, and turns out that guy's brother is like the main love interest. So oh my gosh, it's so good. I love the representation in this book as well. But yeah, I loved it. It's actually my favorite Ali Hazelwood book by far. And I've only read 3. I haven't really read her novellas, but yeah, I read Love on the Brain, Love, what is it called? Love Hypothesis, and this is my favorite one. Love Theoretically. 12, most beautiful book. There's a lot of books here. I mean, this year I just went crazy. Like all the beautiful books that I saw, I bought. And so which one should I, maybe I'll just do this one. I have a pile over here that's like my August bought books, but I'd say this is a pretty cover. I love the US edition as well, and I might get that too because it's just like a different feel, I think. But look at this naked hardback. It's so shiny. Yeah, I would say this is the most beautiful cover, or one of the beautiful ones. I have a lot of pretty books, but this is The Sun and the Void by Gabriela Romero Lacruz. Honestly, don't know what it's about, but I definitely have to read it soon because I actually have 2 copies I have this one from Waterstones, and then I have the one from Illumicrate, which are both beautiful. Let's see. Reina is desperate, stuck on the edges of society. Reina's only hope lies in an invitation from a grandmother she's never met, but the journey to her is dangerous, and prayer can't always avert disaster. Attacked by creatures that stalk the mountains, Reina is on the verge of death until her grandmother, a dark sorceress, intervenes. Now dependent on the Donna's magic for her life, Reina will do anything to earn and keep her favor, even the bidding of an ancient god who whispers to her at night. Sounds so crazy. Yeah, I definitely do want to read this soon. Yeah, the Waterstones version is just like purple, and the regular version I think is black. I don't know, but here you go. So pretty. Okay. Number 13, what do you need to read by the end of the year? Oh my gosh, literally all my book of the month books, because I finished all of their rings for their main challenges, and it unlocked the Shelf Slayer badge, and that one, they just like increased their like requirements from last year. And so for that one, I need to read 15 more books, 9 of which actually count. So I only have 9 books that count for this Shelf Slayer badge, and then like I put all of my book of the month books on my shelf destruct list for this year, and so really I just have to read all of my books. And how many books do I have? I have 25 books to rate. So let's see. Happiness Falls by Angie Kim, The Only One Left by Riley Sager, Dark Corners by Megan Golden, Ink Blood Sister Scribe, Hellbent, A Fire Endless, Bronze Drum, Ariadne, Piranesi, Norco, oh my gosh, that's so old, Opposite of Always, Four Dead Queens, A Woman Is No Man, The Lies We Told, Circe, The Heart's Invisible Furies, The Windfall, A Million Junes, is that what it's called? Yeah, A Million Junes by Emily Henry, White Fur, Since We Fell, American War, Marlena, Lillian Boxfish Takes a Walk, Every Man a Menace, and Tana French's Trespasser. So 25 books I have to read by the end of the year. Can I do it? Oh, 25 books plus 6 more books that I'll add on eventually to meet the Shelf Slayer. Oh my gosh, it's a lot, but I can do it. I can do it. If I do not get distracted, which I do get distracted a lot by a lot of other books, but I am trying to focus. Anyways, the last one is favorite community members. I think that's what the question is. Let me see. Favorite book community members. I have a lot, and you guys know who you are. I talk to you guys like every day, so I don't want to leave anyone out, but basically like everyone on Merb's Discord I love. Kaylee, I know she's doing her gamer thing, but she's like the first one who really like invited me in or like opened her arms into this book community, and I'll never forget that. Melody, like everyone I talk to, you guys know who you are. And there's a lot of people on Bookstagram too. I love you guys. There was like a period of time there where I was getting a little bit burnt out on BookTube just because I was focusing more on my Bookstagram, and I was like, I cannot juggle the two, but I'm getting back on track, and thank you to my friends for always supporting me and like giving me kind words and stuff like that. So yeah, I love you guys. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my very late mid-year freak out. I think in a couple of months I'll have my end of the year freak out, whatever. But yeah, this was fun kind of revisiting the books that I've read this year so far. But yeah, thank you for joining me, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.